Muchachos. So we're gonna be. Let me turn myself down. Let me turn myself down. So, welcome to the show. If you've never played guitar, that's okay. You don't need to know how to play guitar to solder some wires. This is my custom Telecaster body. It's got a sound hole. It's semi-hollow. It's been filled. It had a humbucker, but I hated the sound of this guitar. So what we're gonna do? I normally wouldn't wear gloves to cut wires. This is not so much like a YouTube thing. It's kind of like an old guy thing. I don't want to... Like, the puncture is not going to be super huge if it happens, because these wires or this blade is not that big. But I'm so old, I don't want to be poked by a... I don't even want to risk getting poked, you know what I mean? I mean, it's something a logical person would have done from day one. Alright. So there is one thing I want to try, since we have all this extra wiring. I want to do a method where I really wrap this with this excessive wrap. Why? It'll give us a thicker wiring, and then when we cover it with our electric tape, I feel like it's going to give us a nicer, secure circuit of purity. And I'll tell you why purity is so important. My last manager in music really grilled me and my singer about keeping everything at an equal sound. Basically, don't mess with the treble. Have all the settings be balanced. And have our expressions determine the treble, the bass. So basically, I came from the school of making everything making the signal as pure and as balanced as possible, not to mess with the signal. So furthermore, after we solder it, we're going to place the pickup a little bit farther. It's going to be in between where a traditional treble pickup and middle one would be, for clarity, and also because single coils are pretty hot and pretty high as far as treble. They're very high output with treble. So we're trying to get the best pure signal, and I believe for what I do, a single coil in the middle to get it away from the treble. And how I will make up for that is if I need more treble, we'll just play a little bit closer, because my amp, the guitar, everything is so balanced that when I actually move to my treble position, like when I move my hand positioning, it's going to express a different tone. Now, for us guitar geeks, we're probably going to be the only ones that will be able to hear this. But 20 years ago, when I was playing guitar, it was such a distorted channel that I could have did anything a typical guitar, like a typical listener of music would have hated my distorted guitar, you know what I mean? There was no actual tone, because it had been over distorted to a point where it's just a wall. So now, being older, being around these guys, the name of the game for me is clarity and a really good clear signal. Um, the amp I have is 8 speakers, like 300 watts. So I'm gonna be able to get a really good tone, and I have a volume. I mean, a gain and a master, so we can really play with the levels. Um, but yeah, let's get to cutting this bad boy up. I will plug in the soldering gun. Hope you guys are having a beautiful Wednesday, by the way. I should have did a poll, huh? Do a poll real quick on the real. See. How do I do a poll? Let me get the computer real quick. Be right back. Start a poll. And I just put the poll up for you guys, so I'm gonna get into cutting this. Happy Wednesday. I was talking about my guitar tone as a kid, and the professional band I joined. Based off their name, I was able to get a lot of gigs around Monterey, and the lead singer showed up to our show, and he was just like, "So that's your tone?" Apparently. And so, what I'm doing right now, like if you're a young guitar player, you should be anti all this. You should be what I was doing when I was younger playing guitar. I believe guitar players should sound like a catastrophe for their first 10 years. They should have obnoxious guitar tones because you want to get that out of your system. You got to be good, but your guitar, you shouldn't sound like Eric Clapton on year 3, you know? Like, there should be some exploration. I mean, you just can't be Neil Sean. Not everybody can be Neil Sean out of the gates. Do you guys know that the Journey guy was like he was like recruited out of high school by like everybody in California, to the point where like Eric Clapton wanted him. Let me do a couple cuts on this. Santana got Neil, but Eric Clapton wanted Neil Sean for his band, and Neil Sean's favorite dude was Eric Clapton. So Neil passed with Eric Clapton, I would say Neil probably, the main reason Neil probably passed with Eric Clapton is he wasn't going to leave California. Eric's not a California boy, but Carlos is. So, yeah. Thank goodness. No! Red Bar has always loved music. Dude, Red Bar's been around forever. But Red Bar does love music. Red Bar would like the sound that we're going for. He would not like that the guitar body is, it's a brand called Donner. It's a higher end Donner, but he's only going to be excited about, I think, Fender or Gibson. Now, I recorded with dudes that recorded Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, Keystone Light bar circuit. Like, I was, what up, Matthew? So I was around a lot of dudes from the old Keystone bar circuit, where these bands were sponsored by beer companies to go party. I forgot why I was telling you guys that. It'll come back. Oh, so I recorded 2 professional albums with like these crazy cats in the music industry. So I started bringing like all my homemade guitars, like as a means to like say if I was recording with one of my homemade guitars, right? And they were like, whoa, wait, cut the track. What's wrong with that guitar? Then I would know that my work is actually like not good, right? But I recorded with dudes from like Ozzy, Eddie and the Tide, Black Sabbath, Linkin Park, like you name it, anybody in rock. Like I recorded with these dudes, Brad Maddox and Greg Price, and they never once complained about my guitars. So I was like, okay, as long as I follow the instructions, from Neil Moser. I think Neil Moser is the greatest guitar builder alive. He's on Reverb Nation. He invented a lot of stuff for BC Rich. So all I do is stuff that I've learned from him. And we're going to do this rap. I think it's going to give us a better signal, But do you guys play the guitar? Let's see here. So this will make me want to play this guitar. The tone was just too nasty and it wasn't really definable. The humbucker was just insane. Which this guitar would have been, even though it doesn't look like it used to sound like a death metal, deathcore like guitar. So to me, there's not really a bad guitar. If you say you have a guitar at home, right? Well, there's probably a good niche, a good genre for that particular guitar. I recorded with like a broken kid's acoustic guitar for one of my albums, going in knowing I was going to manipulate the like with delays, but it's just I love trying to see how minimal the instrument is and how much the artist can make the shit work, you know what I mean? So let's wrap these. And so we'll be able to test the tone. I'll plug it in, see if it hums a lot. If it hums a lot, we might have to open this pocket, which is no big deal. But as of right now, we have a kill switch set up. We have a tone and a volume. So we got oodles of onboard toys for this little single coil. The little single coil that could. And my amp, so we're using an old PV solid state amp with like a old line 6 processor, and then we have 2 half stacks. So it's just about dialing in a good tone. Whenever you move your amp from a different room, you have to re-dial in your sound. So for example, in my living room, there's a lot of wood. There's gonna be a little room reverb in there. But it's gonna be pretty much a little bit of a trebly, like not so much trebly room, but I've played in arenas where it's like all metal, and like I one time on stage, all I heard was like delay, you know what I mean? So your environment, your amp needs to change almost every single time you play a show. If you're a new guitarist and your amp sounds amazing in your little spot, and then you go to the show, you go, why does my amp sound different? Well, you changed the room. So again, maybe those were things everybody learned. It took me trial and error to learn. Few tips for you guitar players out there. Oh, we didn't plug in the solder. Let's plug in this bad boy. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. I turn you guys on? Let's see here. The soldering gun probably nuked all the power. So I'm just thinking more of the coil, or more of this wrap, the better. Thicker the signal, the purer the signal. My last manager in the music industry was a former roadie. So he was basically like a pirate. Actually, both my managers were former roadies. My first manager was more or less part of the band, you know what I mean? He wasn't like, he was more like a rock star than a manager. But then our second manager was, oh my god, he was a boss man, you know? So he was the guy. I mean, we did a show one time in Las Vegas. I mean, keep in mind, his job is to manage us, even though he runs like a sound, like he runs a huge music equipment rental place for like big bands. And he'll do the front of house for other shows. So during this festival in Vegas, he watched this other crew set the system up. Our first hour of our show was our manager dialing in their PA system, going, check 1, check 2, needs more, check 1. It was the funniest, most psychotic thing ever. I was watching with nervous energy. I'm like, is this guy really giving a seminar before our show? Good guys. I was very lucky to be around. Where's our soldering stuff? I was very lucky to be around some cool rock and rollers. Where'd our soldering stuff go? I can smell this thing ready to fire up. That's weird. Oh. You like the little gypsy box of guitar parts? Aw, that's awesome. Cheers. So this is some thick solder. Okay, cool. I'll say maybe our soldering gun's gonna give us not that much power. Sometimes heating up the metal, then you can just have the solder melt right into it. I honestly, if I wasn't filming this, I don't think I really would have taken the time to solder this guitar. I would have just wrapped it up with the electric tape. I mean, I don't take these things out, you know what I mean? Like, it's just in my living room. I don't plan to ever leave my house. But yeah, this will be tour ready in case anybody, if I ever sell it. I have a really nice little Telecaster in green sparkle. I got in a trade, and it's like the world's best Tele. Like the guy who traded with me was clearly like a club musician. So he traded this Tele, and it's just got all the bells and whistles, and it sounds amazing, powerful. All right, so we will. Don't want to get these wires too close to each other. Just cut this thing. Oh. We play Fortnite too here. I have 17 releases, like albums on iTunes. We sell 6 stickers on eBay. And we make custom guitars. You know, as long as your guitar is set up correctly and your strings are not off your fretboard and your action's good, I'm not doing any guessing. It's all from Neil Moser, who, like I said, and he was Jimi Hendrix guitar tech. I mean, come on, the guy, this Neil Moser guy, I would love to interview him. It's a very modest dude. He invented a lot of stuff. What's funny is I like a Floyd Rose. He likes the Kaler, which Kaler's just ugly. It's just way too ugly. It's kind of comfortable, but the Floyd Rose is way more comfortable for me. Again, we're wrapping these, trying to keep as much wiring so we can have a good connection. Now, we want some feedback. That's why we want this. That's why we want a single coil. See, Jimi Hendrix, his tone with a single coil, he's able to feed back. You know, I want my guitar to be when I'm playing with distortion, I want my guitar to be really active and staticky, you know? Like that's a rock and roll guitar is not pretty. It's like staticky. But not too much. I mean, let's not be crazy. All right, solder potters. Dude, I swear, only when I record, it's like if I were to do this with the camera off, it would have not turned out as pretty as these. Dude, two perfect fat solders. Look at that. I would have messed that up so bad. And now we're gonna wrap them in electric tape. Unplug that soldering gun. All right. Cheers. Hard work's over. Actually, take that back. All right, how you guys doing? How are your guys' guitar projects going? Turned out really good. So you don't want to wrap these next to each other. You don't have to force it on anything. You just want to keep them away from each other first. Just cover your area. Don't bend it. Don't make it fit. You have all the room in the world in this pocket. I'm talking to you guys, but talking to me too. Like, I got plenty of room to hide these wires, so I don't need to try to make it sexy and pretty right here. We just need to cover it. I'm gonna bend this one a little bit because that's not a wire. Okay, we got that side down. All right. We do have a little bit more modifying to do. Again, you don't want to cross streams. Just want to cover it, protect it. Got all the room in the world. Welcome to Painting with Bob Ross. Alright, that'll do. Oh my god, I don't like that. Okay, you're fine. You're fine, right there. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. We good. We good. Just a little bit right there. Remember not to cross. I don't even want the other electric tape to touch with the other electric tape because I'm pretty sure it's still somewhat of a conductor. All right. Now we got this to do because these ain't gonna fit. never, never getting back together. We never. Come on. Alright. That's how you know this is a man's home, by the way. Dude, that was wild. I just hope that Red Bar didn't buy it. At this point, I mean, like, that's the... These guys are crazy. I think it's Delusionville. This guitar, I think I got it for like $60. I mean, I don't know. I've had $3,000 guitars, but I got it at $1,600. You know, usually you never pay retail. There's listings, but in general, in the guitar world, usually $3,000 will get you anything. $500 is typically a great guitar. But if you know what you're doing, building them is a lot of fun. But yeah, coming out of the gates, so Neil Moser charges more than Josh Denny. But I mean, if Fender will build you something, who you go with? Fender or Josh Denny? I've had collectible guitars, but I've never really... I play my guitars, so I'm not like, you know what I mean? I've had a lot of cool stuff, but it's more of like a revolving door. I like to always play a new guitar. It keeps it fresh. Since I've opened up my record company, I've really... It's not that guitar's not that big of a deal in like the music recording. It's just not. Like, there's been like 5 crazy guitar solos. It's a great accent instrument, but like I prefer writing music on a piano. It's a very fun thing. It's almost like I wouldn't call it, kind of like a sport, obviously a hobby, but guitar is you could go down rabbit holes in guitar, you know what I mean? I use mine more as tool. I've used them more as tools in the past to write. Now I use them as fun. Like, I still use them as fun. They're fun. So, I'm not sure if I need to cut anything else off. I might be able to just take some excess stuff out, and I honestly am probably going to set it flat. I mean, vertical. I am pretty certain I might just set it like this, just a balanced sound. And guys, what's so cool is the original design of this guitar will stay. I'll probably hide these volume buttons, but I'll just take this. This is called Cupcake. The guitar's theme is supposed to represent a cupcake. This is supposed to be like the frosting and the sprinkles. Does it look edible? You know what I mean? I'm not saying I hit the theme doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, what matters is if the guitar plays, and then to me then the theme is like, well, that's what we're going for. You know what I mean? But I'll be able to take the theme a little bit farther. We can be exaggerative, make it a real pink and white contrast, or just bring it up to this spot. But we will be able to hide this pickup. This pickup will be pretty much hidden. I like to hide the electronics or have it fully exposed. That's a cool way to do it too. But yeah, so next time you tune in with this project, we might just be done, because this was the, well, okay, maybe I'll do the frosting. Maybe I'll live stream the frosting, putting on the frosting. But yeah, this soldering job turned out great. I don't even think I need to cut this one off. In fact, I kind of want to keep it. This way I can just kind of like jam it in there somewhere. But yeah, pretty stoked. Have a beautiful day, guys. We'll probably play some video games later. And maybe our single coil will be up and running maybe by the end of this week. Who knows? Have a beautiful day, guys. See you soon. Bye.